City Council regular session, March 1st, 2021, 6 p.m. at the City Municipal Building. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Janet, take the roll call, please.
Alderperson Sampson.
Here.
Heitman.
Here.
Hilson.
Here.
Plum.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Wade.
Here.
Mayor Panaleo.
Here.
Chief Bowen.
Here.
Approval or correction of minutes for the regular session held February the 1st, 2021.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
And Janet, take the vote, please.
Hanson.
Yes.
Heitman.
Yes.
Hilson.
Yes.
Plum.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Wade.
Yes.
Petitions and communications, citizen comments. It doesn't look like we have anyone here, so I'm going to skip on by that one. Report of standing committees, Public Works, and
The only two things, well, we discussed a bunch of things, but the two things that concern are the MOU with the Village of Friendship that we need to provide action on, and the need for the part-time public works, we need to hire a public works person.
yes. Okay, and for economic development, we are currently working on things that has to do with the business park. We're also working on things that has to do with the Kenwood subdivision, and also discussion on how we can upgrade the downtown area of the city. So we've got many things going on right now, but our next meeting is going to be March 10th, and we're going to dig in deeper into those topics. And as far as report from city officers, for myself, I just wanted to mention one thing, because with us not meeting with council, I did not get the opportunity to speak regarding to this. We had a business owner in town that wanted to do a fundraiser because he had remembered some time ago that we were really wanting to upgrade the playground equipment over at Lions Park. And if you remember, right before COVID hit, I was sending letters out trying to get donations to do this, and COVID set it back. So anyways, they are going to host an event on March the 17th, the first time for accepting donations for the playground equipment. And I received a phone call on Monday from a lady, 86 years old, lives out in Arkdale, and she has pledged $3,000 towards the playground equipment. And she also is very interested in us having a handicap swing. So after we get the playground equipment in place to receive the money that we need for that, because we have right now a goal of $25,000, then we'll be able to look at, I'm going to be talking about it in Public Works, but to have Jason work with me on how we could position the handicap swing, because the lady that gave the pledge also wants to buy a handicap swing. So we just need to figure out how we can put it in there, how it could work for bringing in wheelchairs and etc. Okay, so that's it on my end, and if you guys have any questions on that, feel free to talk to me about it. Public Works, Jason is not here, so I'm going to read an email. We had several houses on South Cedar Street with frozen pipes that we had to deal with last week. Advertisement for the part-time seasonal position will start again in the month of April. We will be advertising the North Walker Street LRIP project in the next 2 weeks. Market Adams has installed the fiber optic to wastewater treatment, I'm thinking it's supposed to say plant, last week. New phone number for the office, so make sure everyone documents down that new phone Township has been completed and reviewed by city attorney with the appropriate changes per their recommendation, and everything should be in order for us to assist the village with their water testing. Sam, can you give us an update on the police department?
Last week, Jacob Penny was released from training and started filling shifts on his own. With that, the staff stated that they prefer to work 5:30 to 5:30 rather than the 6:30 to 6:30. So that is in effect on one rotation, and then obviously another rotation is still coming in at 10:30 to 10:30. We have 8 applications for the vacant position. We sent out 3 invites for interviews for Thursday and received replies from all 3, so we have 3 scheduled interviews for Thursday. Last month, we had 63 warning citations or crash reports, 101 calls for service. I was also able to attend the new chiefs training that was put on by the state that was all done online. A little different, but it was very well done. A lot of good information from that, and also was able to attend the Wisconsin Chiefs Association conference in Wisconsin Dells. The next thing you just wanted to discuss was you asked me to look into how to handle the transports for emergency detentions. These are just some figures that I put together to kind of show the different options. I don't think that there's one option that's going to be the answer, I guess, the fair all. The first one up top is a transport company that's based here in Wisconsin. Their fees are based on a per mile amount. The closest agent that they have is, I believe, Appleton, he said, and that's what that figure is from, is Appleton. That's at the top. And then going down the paper there, transports, the emergency detentions can be done in a couple of different ways. So the first one in the green there is, I just had that listed as 4 hours with all the different options as far as the straight time for the officer, sergeant, and then overtime for the officer, sergeant, part-time, their current rate, and then potential part-time.
Airplane landing.
And then a potential part-time, just civilian employee transport position. And just threw in I guess a kind of a starting point at $15 an hour. That 4 hours would be if the officer handling the call would remain with the person through the approval of the emergency detention, and that would simply be them being called in just for the transport itself, nothing else. So they wouldn't be sitting with them or anything else. It's about an hour and a half there, and obviously an hour and a half back, and then about an hour there for processing at the facility. Then our emergency detentions are probably averaging about 6 to 8 hours a piece. And so that's where the orange and the blue come in. Orange is at 6 hours, and then the blue is at 8 hours. And again, what the different costs are. Just some different information at the bottom of that. This is all calculated based on Winnebago and Oshkosh, which is where we primarily send our emergency detentions. And then just some other information as far as average gas price and things like that. So there's some other costs involved as far as the fuel costs with the use of the squad, but it's actually quite minimal. And then the right column continue down the bottom. Looking back at the
discuss this, then we'll need to put a safety meeting together immediately, okay?
Just like I said, just kind of, that's the information I was able to put together and kind of give you kind of an idea of what they're potentially cost.
Okay. Thank you for the time you spent on that.
Thank you for
Okay, new business. Memorandum of Understanding, the MOU, to assist the Village of Friendship with DNR required sampling.
make a motion to accept the memorandum of understanding to assist the Village of Friendship with DNR required.
I'll second.
Can Janet take the vote, please?
Whitman,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Plum,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Amend determination date on memorandum of understanding for construction of basketball court at Burt Morris Park, Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation.
Make a motion to amend the termination date of memorandum of understanding for the construction of the basketball court at Morris Park.
I'll second.
Okay, does anyone have any questions on that? Just basically want you to know that it was it was set aside because of the COVID.
Okay.
Then towards the end of the season, it was even impossible to get the products that was going to be needed. So our deadline date on that would be expiring. So this is just extending it so that they have time to follow through with what they wanted to do, which is to build the basketball.
Okay.
Okay? And Janet, take the vote, please.
Wilson,
Yes.
Plum,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Whitman.
Yes.
And payment of the bills.
I'll make the motion for payment of the bill.
Second.
Janet, take the vote.
Plum,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Whitman,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
We need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Janet, take the vote.
Scott,
Yes.
Wade,